We see support in all areas of our lives, in love and friendship, at work, and in our schools and our communities. Support is what carries us through life's trials and tribulations and is what motivates us to succeed. In any stage of your journey, having a supportive community around you not only matters, it makes a really big difference. Today, I welcome Board Vice President of Rochester, New York's Pirate Toy Fund, Mr. Peter Tagliente. And we have music and interviewing Asheville, North Carolina, and also Rochester native, Miss Heather Taylor. Thank you guys for joining us. I'm your host, Amanda Ashley, and this is Afternoon Cocktail, episode 48, Support. Welcome. Miss Heather, how are you?
Hello, I'm very well. How are you?
I'm awesome. Really great to see your face. What are you going to perform for us?
Good to see yours too. I'm going to be performing a song that I'm going to be releasing soon. It's called Love Will Keep Us Here. I wrote this actually a couple years ago, but I haven't gotten a chance to record it yet. So I'm really excited about that. And yeah, here we go. Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Like a mother waiting for her firstborn, I had my fear, but the unknown will be overshadowed by the call to care for my own. Like a wild horse without a saddle, I am free to roam, but the stable gently calls my name to retire and dream outgrown. Love will keep us here. Love will keep us here. Like a hiker without trail markers, sometimes I lose my way. Misunderstood, confused, secluded, and unable to convey. Love will keep us here. Love will keep us here. Oh. Like a wave crashing on the shore, I know I will meet my end, but till then I come back for more. Honey, know what's around the bend. Love will keep us here. Love will keep us here. Oh, love will keep us. Love, love will keep us here. Love will keep us here.
Beautiful, Heather. I love that one. It's great.
Thank you.
So you were just saying to me last night that you just started playing guitar, right? Like that's your most recent instrument?
Yeah, that's my most recent instrument, but this is an octave mandolin. You couldn't see it.
Ah, okay. I thought it sounded like definitely more like on the higher end, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Very
people,
cool.
yeah, can't see it here, but there you go.
Ha-
Yeah, I picked it up because I couldn't play guitar, and I think it is a lovely instrument, and I just knew I wouldn't be able to do it in justice in time of being able to learn and play or sing and play at the same time. So I picked up the octave mandolin, which I was already learning the regular mandolin, so it was a smooth transition.
How many instruments can you play?
Well, I grew up in a classical music community, so I started off with flute, but I also started off with piano and saxophone, and then I moved into like a stringed. So I don't know, maybe less than 10, more than 5.
That's amazing. So your family played music as well, right? Both your parents and you have siblings?
Yeah, my sister is a music teacher, and sending all the love to her for the start of the school year.
Mm.
And yeah, both my parents, they went to Eastman School of Music. My dad was a composer, and he played every instrument under the sun for that. And then my mom, she played oboe and flute.
So cool. So did you guys like grow up jamming out together?
We played quintets sometimes. We played. Well, wait, did we play quintets? I know that me and my sister played a lot of like flute and clarinet duos, and then me and my mom played a lot of flute duos, and everybody knew how to play piano, so my mom and my sister would accompany, and yeah, we took advantage of those opportunities, especially like around like holidays and stuff when we actually had time to hang out and play together.
Sure, that's so cool. I love it. Which instrument, like, I mean, what out of all those instruments, which one is kind of your go-to when you got all the feels?
Singing, I think.
Yeah, yeah,
But when I can't do it justice with my voice, and like when I don't really know what to sing, I think when I just need to get it out, it's flute. I
hmm
I love jamming out on the flute. And because it's also kind of like a another limb to me because I've been playing it for so long, so it's easier to express myself how I want to, I think.
sure. Very cool, Heather. So, I mean, you're in Asheville, North Carolina. I mean, so you just mentioned your voice. Like my first thought, I saw your post on Instagram and I went to Undercurrents. I heard it on Spotify or I went to listen to that track specifically. And I was like, oh my goodness, she sounds so good. Your voice has matured so much. And, like we had talked a little bit last night and it made me really think back to when I first met you. And I remember just walking into Love and Cup, this little coffee shop. Actually, it's a very big coffee shop here in Rochester, New York. And I was hanging up flyers and I was just gaining my bearings in Rochester in the scene. I was trying to tie art and music. And you were sitting next to me and you and a friend and you were like, oh, what's this event that you're promoting? And I told you about it. And your friend was like, this girl, she's an artist. She's a singer. Like she's amazing. And you were like, oh, please, please, like being humble you. And yeah, come to see your growth over the past 10 years or however long it's been since. I mean, you're doing such a tremendous job and you sound and look amazing and I'm so proud of you.
Thank
um,
you.
You're welcome. Tell us about, I mean, how does Asheville differ from Rochester's scene overall?
Well, first, I could say the same thing about you is that I'm very proud of you, and I've seen your development, and you've also been a very big inspiration to me. And I guess leading from that into that question is that the scenes are actually really similar. Um, you're going to find people who are going after music and what they want to do with a lot of passion and a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work. So in Rochester and Asheville, you're going to find a really high tier of musician, I think, which is awesome because then you can collaborate with, I mean, in your network at whoever you want, and it allows for a lot of creativity. Um, but I mean, every scene is different because of the venues, I think, and I mean, it depends. Like the venue really makes either a listening audience or it makes a talkative audience or whatever. And I think Rochester and Asheville just have very different venues as well. So it's hard to say, but you can find a listening audience here. I think there might be a bigger listening audience, dare I say, in Rochester, at least for like the local level, like folk and jazz and classically, so or the classical music. Um, let's see. Yeah, I mean, like there's so many similarities and so many differences, but I think you'll find a similar audience just wanting to go listen to great music and connect with either people there or the artist. And both are like I've been very inspired by both scenes.
What inspired your move?
I think it was honestly, I think I had so much support in Rochester, and it's a top tier supportive community, it really is. And I think when you feel as supported there, that it can encourage you to grow bigger and to do more and get more creative and get better. And so, I think because of that support, I felt free to be able to explore. Um, that and like a really great coincidence or lining up of the stars where I met a couple people who offered me a free house or free place to stay for like while I was getting my footing in Asheville. So that really just sealed the deal for me.
Yeah, that's so awesome. You had mentioned that last night. What a beautiful opportunity to be handed.
It really was
Um,
amazing.
yeah, and I imagine you still keep in pretty good touch with them, right?
I just was on a Zoom call with a woman for her birthday. She had a quarantine birthday party, so she was nice enough to invite me to that. So I got to pop in and say hello.
That's sweet. Now, is
Mhm.
this your first experience away from Rochester, like living in another city?
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah. What has it taught
Mhm.
you
Well,
so far?
so I mean,
Yeah.
it's been 3 years so far. So it went from like 100 to zero kind of thing. So like I went from having a really great community and knowing a lot of people and being in some sort of routine and having a job, all this stuff, having venues to play at, having a band, to nothing, like knowing no one in the scene. So it taught me how to be alone and how to be independent, and I think even though I've been striving for that for a long time, it kind of like sealed it for
Sealed the
me. Like,
deal. Yeah.
yeah, like what do you need to do? What's important to you? What's valuable? Who actually are you? You know, I think I got to just discover a lot more about myself. I guess hard to put it into a few minutes, but yeah, it did a lot for me, I think.
And you had mentioned, so you had mentioned support, that you had a lot of support out in Rochester, and today's theme is support. I mean, what does having that support system mean to you?
Um, well, I think it means so much, especially as a creative person. Um, but I think it's helped me realize potential, and it's like just given me the opportunity. It's just given me the opportunity to find out who I am and find out who I am creatively, because it's kind of an ever evolving process. So without like the right environment, without the right kind of ingredients, it's really hard for something to come out at their fullest potential. Um, or honestly, to even merely survive, because it's a hard industry. So I've been able to continue, and that means everything to me.
I think in music scenes, especially when you're new to a scene, I felt this way when I moved to Rochester. So like I knew nobody here except my ex and his friends and the people that I went to college with. But everybody was so busy and they were already in their own lives, like working their own jobs, and I was just fresh out of college.
Mm-hmm.
So all my family back in Long Island, starting off as a musician, I felt like I didn't really have anybody, but like maybe six people that I could guarantee would maybe come out to see me, and
Mm-hmm.
starting from those six people and trying to multiply it, over time. And I found that what multiplied it was supporting others, and going to see others people's shows and participating in open mics and then hosting open mics, and then how that support, it's a two-way street. It comes back and forth, right? That's how, I mean,
Absolutely.
and your relationships that you build just by taking that chance and being a stranger in an audience, what that does for you, for your life, not only your career, not only for, the sake of bringing people to your shows, but for your life, the people you connect with, it's
Mm-hmm.
really amazing. You said you were
Absolutely.
hosting your own open mics too, right?
I did, yeah. I did it for about a year and 3 months. It got shut down because of quarantine.
Ugh.
Um, but it was a fantastic year and 3 months. I mean, it was really cool to be able to meet the musicians in the area and even people who pass through, because this is like a route. Um, Asheville, you can go. It's just on a major highway that spans across the state, and yeah.
So Heather, I mean, you're also an artist. I see your art behind you. I mean, have you also kind of dived into the art scene there? Are you selling your art? Tell us a little bit about the other creative side of you.
Well, visual art is something that I love dearly, and it helps me. I think it helps with my music, but it also helps me process things in a different way. So, yeah, I do some abstract art, and then I make it into prints and note cards and stuff like that. Um, but selling it is, I do sell it. It's on and off. It doesn't support me, but it's gravy. Um, and I think um, seeing how it evolves, it just opens more creative doors for myself and helps me. And I think color is just an amazing tool for anybody, and having art and being able to kind of like play with the abstractness of it yourself. It means something to something different to everybody. So I really like it when somebody comes up to the piece and like says, "Oh, I see this, I see this, I see this," and I'm like, "Great, I didn't see that at all. It's so cool." And that's usually a sign that like they connect with it a lot,
Yeah.
which is so cool.
Isn't it so funny how people could take your art, and that goes for music too, like take your lyrics and like almost skew it so that it fits what's happening in their lives, right? And they're like, oh yeah, but this
Totally.
is what you meant. And you're like, you you don't know what this
Yeah, totally
no.
up to interpretation.
Yeah, it's
If it
good though,
helps, great.
Excellent. Yeah. So let's talk about undercurrents. What what has you most excited about? I mean, so I know you said you're actually about to record something fresh soon.
Hmm.
Can you tell us about your evolution as a musician? I mean, you had your band Crawdaddies here in
Hmm.
Rochester. How has your music evolved from Crawdaddies to your release of Undercurrents to what we're about to hear?
Okay, so I guess I'll give the shortened version, because it actually is a long, evolved story, as it should be, because it takes time. Things just take time. Um, So, starting off with the Crawdaddies, I never sang before. I was like 22, 23. I tried really hard at certain parts, but then I retreated into my myself for years and years at a time because I was just so nervous about singing in front of people. So distinctly a few times before the Crawdities. And I had the leader of that band. He was awesome. He heard me sing one time. I said, "Can I do this in a practice?" And he's like, "Yes. And will you also become one of our, like, the lead singer?" Because he was at the time, and I'm like, "I don't sing in front of people." So anyways, his support helped me actually become a singer and actually helped me like learn things and all that stuff. So being a co-singer of lead singer of the Crawdities, I also realized that I wanted to play solo. It was partly out of necessity, and partly out of just like wanting to personally develop. So as like instrumentation changed, I think all my music also changed. Um, so I went from like Americana and blues, like original outfit of Crawdities was like slide guitar and washboard and acoustic bass, and then it kind of transferred more into like Americana, and then it went from slide to like dobro kind of style into a banjo. So that definitely affected things. And then I learned the octave mandolin, so that brought out different sounds and stuff. And I recorded a solo album. That was like produced, and that was kind of like cosmic folk rock is the best way to describe that. And then moving here, then I was back to like solo and like a small outfit. So then it was me and a slide guitar player again. And so that's, I really wanted to get that on record because I think having some sort of music that feels really organic and like somebody could just be like sitting next to you playing, I think that's really important, especially just to be able to connect with it as a human. I love big produced sounds too, don't get me wrong. Um, but yeah, so it's just like gone through like these kind of like growth spurts and individual spurts and stuff. And now I just play alone, and I started playing with like a looping system and hooking up to an amp and like adding a lot more electronics and stuff. So now it's kind of me and myself and then sometimes I add add a violinist, but things are on hold now. So yeah, things just keep on evolving. I have many interests, as many musicians do, and now I'm learning how to record in my home studio, and that's just like opening an entire new thing again.
Sure, you'll
That was
learn
long.
so
I'm
much about
sorry.
yourself. No, that's okay. I mean, yeah, evolution, it's not a quick process, nor is it quick to explain. So it's cool.
Talk
you know,
fast.
good for you for experimenting with all these genres and just finding yourself through music. I think I had to find my way through music a lot, and I still am, and as you grow and you learn more and more about yourself and you acquire new skills, that's going to naturally take you in different directions. So,
Totally.
I mean, continue on the right path. I love you. Thank you for doing this. It's so good to see
Thank
you.
you.
Tell our audience where they can listen to your music.
Well, if you go to my website, heathertaylormusic.com, you can sign up for my newsletter and you can get some free music that way. Otherwise, please go to Bandcamp and search for me because Bandcamp is, I think, doing a lot for musicians, like having free Fridays where they just give us all the money that people are contributing. So yeah, Bandcamp, look for Heather Taylor or HT Creates on any social media platform.
Awesome. Make sure you guys do that. So before we're going to hear one more song from Heather towards the end of our program, before I bring out Pita, I would like to throw a shout out to our sponsors today. We have Electronic Merchant Systems of New York for all your credit card processing needs. Also, big shout out to our friends over at Compeer Rochester. Thank you, Compeer, for your support in our program and for supporting our community in positive ways. And Salvatore's Pizzeria, make sure you guys get in your Monday night pizza orders with them. Peter, how are you, my friend?
I am awesome. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you. Welcome to
Hey,
Afternoon Cocktail.
Thank you. Huge fan. As you guys know, I love listening when I'm doing yard work. But before we start, can I actually break tradition and actually ask you and Heather a question?
Sure.
So as you know, I am not in the music scene. I am not a performer by any and all means, but I am such a huge podcast fan and interview fan. So I'm always curious to know more about like digging in deeper with creators and performers and anybody that's got to go up there. So do you guys get more excited and get more into your show and, as I like to call it, jacked up like athletes do, performing in front of a room of complete strangers who have never seen you before? Or is it, I've got a room packed of fans of people who know me that I know are going to be into the show? Like, is it better for you to be completely anonymous and play in front of, not a single soul you recognize, or just looking out and seeing like a sea of fans?
I always personally like a good challenge. So I get more of a thrill performing in front of people I don't know. And even if they're unsure of what is being presented to them by the end of the show, to have turned them to wanting to say hi or just acknowledging the fact that they enjoyed the show, that kind of means more to me, I guess. But either one, I take any scenario and be happy. Heather?
Yeah, I love that you rise to that challenge because it's so necessary, I think. For me, I think that it's more the other one. I think it's more when I see more people that I know that really understand like my music and want to hear it and all that stuff, that gives me a lot more comfort so that I can more explore the stage and explore. It's like permission based, I guess, in some ways. Like, yeah, is this okay? Like, can I? Okay, cool. Let's go. And like having like the feedback and reaction kind of loop is fun.
Well, that part's awesome too, but I sometimes find myself more nervous in front of the people I know. I don't know why. Like it could be like a small group of the people that I know that are there to support me and that care about me and are listening. But like for some reason, maybe that's what gets me a little bit more nervous than just like rising to a challenge and just taking it head on.
Cool.
Awesome.
So Peter.
Thank you. Sorry. It was just that question was on my mind. I'm like, oh man, I gotta reach out and ask.
It's a good question. I like it.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about who you are. What do you do? And tell us about your mission today.
Sure, absolutely. So who I am and what do I do? So I'm Peter Taglianti. I'm actually the vice president of the Pirate Toy Fund in my volunteer time. So this is an organization that I found when I was 16 years old, actually through a family friend who said, hey, I've got a thing going on and I need your help. This was actually one of the very first toy drives that that the Toy Fund ever put together. And we were in a small little office in Village Gate in the middle of December. And, we had about, 20 to 25 volunteers that were able to round up about 400 to 500 toys from Wegmans. And then this great opportunity that I found when I was a young kid, just to help volunteer and dedicate some time to this little organization that I really at the time had no idea about or what their mission was. And at the time, it had started off about 5 years prior, as I'm dating myself here. Just being able to get some toys, which originally started as just doing this little toy collection so that any child that wound up in Golisano Children's Hospital was able to receive a toy. So that's kind of like where I started off is and kind of who I am as far as the Pirate Toy Fund concerns. But other than that, I'm just this kind of random guy out there that likes to volunteer and help out this great organization.
I love it. So Peter, the toys that you guys collect, it only goes to Golisano's Children's Hospital, or does it go to other places as well?
Sure. We're actually fortunate enough to where over the years, we have amassed such a great donor base that we have spread out to 80 different local organizations that we distribute toys to, whether it's one of our biggest recipients, which is the American Red Cross, or some such things as Sawgrass Medical Center, where a lot of kids go there for small little procedures to overnight medical procedures to where they have to stay. to a bunch of different dentist office, and we've actually expanded out to some different community outreach programs. For example, we've got one of our largest, most in the spotlight, I'd say now, organizations is that we've developed this program with the local police departments called Toys on Patrol. So now in the Rochester City Police Department and a bunch of the other police departments all over the county, including the Monroe County jail system, anytime an officer sees a child on the street, or God forbid they have to go to a domestic violence dispute where mom and dad might not be having the best of days, they actually offer kids toys, or they might see a bunch of kids playing on the street. And as we've seen in the news where police officers are throwing around a football or playing basketball or baseball, they actually have the footballs and baseballs and basketballs in their trucks from us, which is really, really neat. So we're able to actually expand out our network to 80 different organizations. Any child that needs a toy in the greater Rochester community, we're trying to make sure we facilitate that need and get that to them.
Now, how are the toys distributed? Is it like a team, a pack of people that just get in trucks, or is it just like you or regular volunteers that just kind of drop them off at different locations?
Sure. So I'll say that it's kind of divided up a little bit. Primarily, the majority of our toys that get distributed, roughly 30 of probably the 40,000 toys a year get distributed through the actual program partners, through those 80 partners, like the American Red Cross will do it. The medical centers will do it. We give away toys from us to the actual children, the end users, I'll call them the end recipients, in a few different ways. We have a small team that works in Galliano Children's Hospital that are up there 3 to 4 days a week, giving children toys that are spending the night there. And then we have a couple times a year to where we actually give the toys out as the board. We're just a small volunteer board to where we actually get to interact with the kids. One instance is we work with Camp Good Days, and they've got this really cool, unique project called where they work with the local municipalities called, sorry, it's escaping my mind real quick. Project Tips, sorry. It's one of those things I can never remember. It's just, we're working with Camp Good Days again. So we're going out to the park. So with Project Tips, we actually go to throughout the entire city. We go to a bunch of the local parks, and we work with local law enforcement, local government, any government agency, including the libraries, where we hold these cool little cookouts. And all the families come by and they hang out with the cookout. They see the fire department. They meet the police officers that work their neighborhood. The mayor comes by sometimes, and we actually hand out toys then, which is always a great time. Plus, I usually leave work early and I get to sit outside and play with the kids and play with toys and everything. So it's a really fun time. That's one of the more in the spotlight, as I'll call it, to where the news media comes in. One of the times though, where we get to hand out toys to where we kind of keep it pretty private, we actually work with Camp Good Days with their junior campers. So with Camp Good Days, a great organization we love working with, and you'll hear me mention them a lot just because we're so tight and so ingrained with each other. They work with kids who are that go to the camp that are 8 years old and older. Well, once a week every summer, they grab the junior campers. These are the kids that aren't quite old enough yet to spend the night away from mom and dad. So we actually throw a lunch from them. And we bring in all the junior campers, and they get to come to our warehouse and pick out a toy, whatever they'd like. And they usually leave with like 5 to 6 toys. And that's always one of the greatest and worst days of my life, as I tend to say.
I was going to say, I bet the kids are like fighting, right?
Oh, yeah. And well, it's the coolest thing. They walk in the back, we open up the garage door, and they just see this warehouse full of toys.
And then it's a bloodbath.
It is on. It doesn't matter if there's crutches, wheelchairs going on. Doesn't matter. They're trying to climb shelves to get whatever they want. Oh, my God. And it's
I can only imagine.
Yeah. As I say, it's one of the greatest and worst days of my life. Only because, I love giving the opportunity to hang out, eat some pizza, and help some kids pick up some toys. But these kids are there for a reason, and it's tough. A lot of these kids are unfortunately really seriously ill, and we've had a couple campers that weren't able to join us the following year. but have had some great feedback from their parents saying that, you know, this is one of their best days is, you know, they got to come home with these toys. And, you know, it's, you go there full of smiles, you might come home with a tear, but you know, that kid had such a great day. And
Yeah.
I've had to pull a couple kids climbing on the shelves a few times, which is fun. So usually I throw them on my shoulders, let them pick out the big toy all the way up at the top.
It's amazing how like a
Yeah.
small act of kindness like that could really just radiate somebody's day, you know, like, and maybe that toy could become their favorite toy throughout, you know, the rest of their journey, you know, if for those that are really ill. It's, yeah, I think what you're doing is really beautiful.
Thank you.
So your cause, I mean, the Pirate Toy Fund, this is their 25th year. That's amazing.
25 years helping this
yeah.
community out. It's nothing to shake a stick at. It's pretty awesome.
It's so great. And I mean, obviously, I mean, your cause is driven by a lot of the support of our community and beyond, I'm sure, right?
Absolutely.
Aside from monetary donations, in which ways can the community get involved in supporting your cause?
Absolutely. A few different ways. One, we are always looking for toys. That's going to be a need that is not slowing down, especially now due to COVID and with the holidays coming up and parents might not have that extra disposable income. We're always accepting toy donations. We're always accepting people throwing their own toy drives, maybe at their own small family get-togethers or friend get-togethers. Those are also always a huge help and a big uplift for all of us. Also, you know, you could still reach out and see if you'd love to come to one of our great events post-COVID. So we're getting there. Pretty soon, hopefully, we'll be able to get back to some events. We throw a golf tournament every year, and there's a few other events that we work on. This past year, we displayed our sauce cook-off to where we had some great local chefs, professional and amateurs that showed off their great cooking skills and had a contest as to whose pasta sauce was king of them all for Rochester. We'll be doing that again I believe this March, April-ish. All things hopefully moving forward, knock on wood. And we always love to have people volunteer with us, whether it's working on our toy drive or working our toy sort when we get all the toys in, and or if you want to just come in and join the board. We're always looking for new people that are excited and energized and really want to get out there and help the community.
It's awesome. And speaking of events, this Saturday, September 5th,
Yeah,
I can't believe it is September.
We are here.
It's so insane. So September 5th, there's a pretty sweet event happening. Can you tell us about it?
Absolutely. Amanda, get your riding boots ready.
They're
time.
ready. I
They're
hope
ready?
those other disc jockeys are ready.
Do you have your derby hat ready? That's the real question.
Yeah, but I got my derby flower.
Perfect. So
Yes.
This Saturday coming up every year, this is, I believe, our 5th annual Carousel Derby, to where we get some of the best, brightest, most attractive and fun and energetic carousel horse riders pledging their time and taking all their friends and family's money to raise money to ride for 3 hours, going up and down and around on Rochester's finest wood and plastic horses. And this year we're taking place at the Strong Museum of Play. So great event to where we get these great people that want to take some time out and ride a carousel for 3 hours, hopefully not getting too dizzy or sick. Please take some Dramamine before you come. It's gonna help. Riding up and down and seeing who is the king or queen of the Derby. So I love this event every year. It's one of the events that I personally sit on the chair for and really promote, and just getting people that are crazy and enthusiastic enough like yourself, which I'm rooting for you, to raise money for a great cause.
Yes, if you guys would like to sponsor me as a disc jockey, where can they go? Tell them the website.
Sure. Yep. I believe it is. They can go to our website, piratetoyfund.org, and you could find the information there. That's also, I believe, Give Butter /PTF Derby. That's a Give Butter. Really cool new platform that we're using to where you can see the donations come in live, and people can actually send you messages of encouragement as you're riding. So definitely September 5th, go to www.givebutter.com/PTF Derby, I believe is the site, or piratetoyfund.org, and log in there and click on Amanda's name and give her all the money you can. She's got some great competition.
Yeah, I really do have some good competition, and
Yeah.
it's going to be fun. But yeah, if you would like to sponsor me as their disc jockey, I will be getting my button on a carousel
Yeah,
this
bring some
Saturday
pillows.
for 3 hours. So, what are the regulations for this, by the way? Like, is there bathroom breaks, or could we bring a snack? Or
You can absolutely bring a snack. I believe we do provide snacks. There will be a couple bathroom breaks, and
Okay.
the rules, there are no rules. It's kind of like Back to the Future. There are no roads. It's just a free for all. Violence is encouraged. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a little different, and everybody can actually watch you ride too. We are going to be streaming the entire event live on all of our social media. Instagram, I think we can go live now. I'm not really in tune with smart social media, but definitely we're going to be streaming on Twitter and Facebook, watching you guys getting dizzy out of your mind, going up and down and around on this small little horse.
All right, I'm gonna pick the best horse. Mine's got to be all blinged out, you know.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Absolutely. There might be some horse switching though. You might not just be able to just ride on the same horse the
Aw.
entire time. You
All
want to
right,
mix you up a
whatever.
little bit. Mix you
I'll
up.
take whatever you give me.
Get new partners. Definitely
Well,
sit next to, Sheriff Todd Baxter, see if he can, ever help you if you ever go too fast while you're riding late to a gig. Might be able to help you out.
I'll tell him no tickets on this horse, please.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right, Peter. Well, thank you so much for being on the show and for doing such a beautiful thing for our community. Make sure you guys donate to the Pirate Toy Fund. And please, if you would like to sponsor me and help me kick some butt against these other sponsors, that would be awesome. Miss Heather Taylor, come back and rock us out with one more.
I'm back.
Yay. Hi.
Hey. That sounds like a lot of fun, and please help Amanda help other people. She does so much. All right, so I'm definitely in support of goofy play, and by the way, I love the Strong Museum of Play. I think that is like one of the coolest parts of Rochester. So anyways,
so cool.
All right, this song is called Goofy Life. Like the ocean breeze, clear water and sunny sky. You're like the moonbeams, Earth's screens, Rocky Mountain heights. With an eye on the weathered path, we can go off track just a little bit to keep up the laughs. Oh, dance with me in the bright daylight and laugh with me through the hard times. Doesn't always have to look right. We'll build a goofy life. Walk with me down the open road. We'll build a family out of books and hope. And with an eye on the weathered path, we can go off track just a little bit to keep up the laughs. Oh, dance with me in the bright daylight and laugh with me through the hard times. Doesn't always have to look right. We'll build a goofy life. away through the hurricane. Oh, day by day, we'll make it safe with an eye on the weathered path. Oh, we'll go off track just a little bit to keep up the laughs. Oh, dance with me in the bright daylight and laugh with me through the hard times. Doesn't always have to look right. Oh, doesn't always have to look right. Doesn't always have to look right. We'll build a goofy life.
The amazing Heather Taylor. Thank you to my beautiful friends, Heather Taylor and Peter Tagliente, for being you and for sharing your story and art with us. So today's theme was support. When considering today's theme, I began to wonder about the power of recognition and what support means. How connection can actually impact and change the way we live, and more importantly, the way we feel. We all strive to maintain the appearance of well-being, no matter how we feel. In the act of masking ourselves, we often lock other people out of our reality, dismissing the importance of contact and connection and mitigating the effect people actually have on our well-being. It's all a matter of showing up, showing those that you care for, and even perfect strangers, just showing up to show them that you admire their mission, respect their efforts, and are willing to root them along throughout their path of growth. Support is what encourages us to push forward and doing better for ourselves and for those around us. It's that acknowledgement we all crave in knowing that we are on the right path to creating and doing something beautiful. And it's proof that you're believed in. Support, to me, is the truest act of compassion. So begin by showing the people you love that what is important to them is also important to you. Be that support by being that shoulder to lean on, or by taking the time to be by their side when they're really experiencing a difficult time. Support is asking how you can help. Pick up the phone, contact someone distant, and let them know that you're always just a phone call away with an ear to listen when in need. Donate your time or help share a post on social media for the sake of those people and causes that resonate with you. Support is showing up to events that took months of hard work and preparation building up to that very moment. It's sharing the pride of someone else's accomplishments. It's that hug at the end of a long day. Making connections with other people from the heart, make it a part of your daily practice. It really doesn't take much, but it really means everything. Thank you to Beau Productions. Shout out to James Farley of Northwestern Mutual and Native Voyage Studios out in Fairport. And big thanks again to Compeer Rochester, Salvatore's Pizzeria, and Electronic Merchant Systems. We'll be back here this Wednesday with a brand new show. Thank you all for tuning in, and thank you for your support. See you next time.